Welcome back to the trip. The fun has now started and La Madre has come to take me. She takes me into one room this day and she also has me do a little fun experiment at the end of my trip. When you're finally in it, you are completely detached from your physical body. All that's left are some of your senses, such as your eyes or your ability to see and your ability to think. That's it. So I'm now floating quite high in this room, and in the corner sits this little boy, about 7 or 8 years old. And he's got his knees to his chest, and he is sobbing. The door to the room is cracked open, so the light from the hallway is shining on him, so I can see that, you know what I mean? So as I'm watching this little boy cry, the madre is sort of narrating what's going on. She explains that his life has now become void of love, and that it will go on to shape who he is and who he will become. And then she tells me to have more compassion. And she says a few other things that make absolutely no sense to me, but I feel such a profound feeling of sadness and pity for the little boy. And then all of a sudden, I'm sucked back into my body. And now I'm leaning up against the wall, just sobbing myself. I'm left with this overwhelming feeling of shame and guilt, but also this newfound understanding that I never had before. So as overwhelming as that situation was, I decided to take a little break. I went to the bathroom, made my way back to my seat, and leaned back against the wall and closed my eyes. And then I heard La Madre say, "I want you to open your eyes." So I followed the instructions. I opened my eyes and she says, "Okay, now I want you to close them. And I just want you to remember this room is pitch black. My eyes are now closed and I could see every last person in this room." And if you remember from the story The Godfather I told a few weeks ago, his brain was shooting off different colors. It looked like a motherboard or wires that were firing off. The room looked similar to that. Rather than it being like a physical body, it was wires. I don't know why it shows up like that for me, but it was energy in the shape of their body, but they were all different colors. And it looked like a big ass freaking rainbow in there. It was gorgeous. And so she has me open my eyes again. I open my eyes. I can't see a thing. All I can hear are the tribe leaders or tribe members walking past doing these things with their feathers. Oh, I have feathers around here somewhere. I don't know where they are. But they're moving the feathers around you. They're playing the drum. They've got the music going on. You've got some Indian stuff, in the background. The gong's going off. And I'm like, this is exciting, but holy shit, it's overwhelming. So she tells me, close your eyes. And I close my eyes again. And I could see them. And they're dancing. And I could see the colors going. And I could see the neurons or whatever it is firing off. So she goes on to say that she wanted me to see what we looked like in our true state, which is energy. It was beautiful, you guys. It was beautiful. So now we're going to rewind and go back to the story of the little boy. A few weeks ago, I was tasked with taking my father to the airport, and he was making his way to Cape Verde, where we are from. So during this car ride, he begins telling me stories about his past. So I always knew that his mother passed, but I never knew the circumstances around her passing. I never knew how old my father was. I never knew any real details other than the fact that she was no longer here. So my curiosity was piqued, and I began asking him questions about who she was as a person, as a mother, and from what he said, she was a delightful person, but his father, not so much. So I ended up finding out that his mother passed of a heart attack. She was 35 years old, which is the same age that I am now. And he had come home to find her gone on her bed. Dad came, did absolutely nothing. He actually left he and his siblings alone with her. And I don't know why I can't say that out loud. It sounds so fucked. And so I asked my dad, I said, "Well, how old were you when she died?" He says, "I was 8 years old." And you guys, that's when it hit me. It's almost as if in that moment, I was right back to 2019, where La Madre is like, "You gotta have more compassion for this little motherfucker, okay? You can't be a little bitch anymore, because that's not what she said. That's not how she said it, but damn, that was like pretty close. But that's when it freaking hit me. The little boy that I had seen in that room, crying in the corner, who was void of love because the person he had loved the most had died, was my father. And so I, as a then 28-year-old woman, was watching my father as an 8-year-old boy cry out for his mother. And that is, when I tell you that shit, fucking, that hit so hard, and it still does to this day. As you can see, I'm like fiddling with this little frog. I am nervous as hell telling the story. My mind is riddled with curiosities about what this reality is. I'm always in search of information. I am open to anything. And so when I'm presented with something new, I tend to jump on it. Whether it's a feeling or whether it's an actual opportunity, I tend to jump on it because I just want to learn, I just want to know. And I know that it will add to my life experience. Anyway, at the end of night 2, the sun is coming up, and the shaman ends the ceremony by singing a song. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. That song really does hit different now.